All right, guys, it's been a minute since we've gotten a chance to catch up with this next man whose CV speaks for himself. Former UFC middleweight champion, one of the best to ever do it at 185. Robert Whittaker, welcome back, man. Fresh off paying a bill. We were just having a laugh about it before.
yeah, fresh off. You guys, I connected to the call while I was mid paying my AGL bill. So
Life admin.
Dude, it doesn't stop. I had to get that done. But no, thanks for having me. It has been a while.
Yeah, just quickly, you know what? I like that you're still just paying your own bills. You know what I mean? This is like pulling back the curtain. People might think like Rob's got a team doing this and that. No, he's a man of the people, just like everyone else.
Dude, the team would cost more than my bills. AGL, dude, good rates.
Mine's Victoria. Know me on a first name basis for various reasons. One day I'll pay off my ex debt, but not before I pay that off. Anyway, good to have you back on the show, dude. First off, before we get into some exciting news for you, because there's a lot of excitement happening around you with some a new company that we want to talk about. Before we get into that, I want to get into your thoughts on some of the exciting news in the division yesterday, man. It's now official. Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. UFC was happening for the UFC middleweight title. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I guess it kind of cleared a lot of things up because the division is in a really crazy spot. Whether there's so many fighters that are already busy or that are inactive or that are just sitting on sidelines and with the win losses that we've had in the top five, it's just shuffled everything up. And then you have Chimaev and Usman coming in and fighting for a potential for a title shot, allegedly, right? Just shaking everything up, right? But it's to hear, Dricus getting the title shot with Sean. I think it's fair because he wasn't in a lot of the talks for the next title shot with Sean, and that where did it leave him? Where did that leave him? And I think he. Props to him, he did beat me, and I think that earns something. Anyway,
I think it's like that, right? Like any fighter, anyone who beats you, it's always the case that you kind of like, I don't know if rooting for them is the kind of thing, but like you want to see them do well because it kind of makes you look better by comparison, right?
I guess. I don't know. I'm still trying to get that. I want to get that back too. Okay.
Yeah.
My list is unfortunately getting longer now.
Yeah. No, totally understandable. But you know what's funny about this, right? It kind of reminds me of what happened with like Dricus in the first place, where like you guys fought, he got the win, and like before that, people were like, anyone who wins here, unless they're like perfectly unscathed, I don't know how they're going to make the turnaround to Sydney, right? And then of course, that's exactly what happened. Sean got in there. And then now, like the same thing with Khamzat, right? Like Khamzat or Usman, the winner was going to get the title shot. Dana said it multiple times. Khamzat's got the hand injury, so in comes Dricus. It's almost like everything's kind of come full circle, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And I guess that's the moral of the story is that the division, especially top five, and the stakes that we play at is just rife with opportunity. And Sean is a perfect example of being ready and in the right place at the right time, and obviously having the skill sets to back it up.
Yeah, that's insane, man. It's like you almost have this feeling of whoever's ready for an opportunity can really sort of make a big splash right now if you're at the top of the division. Just quickly, on that Strickland Du Plessis fight, I know it's like a fresh one in your mind, but early on, what do you reckon? Like, who are you leaning towards when you think about that one? Because it's a fascinating one. It's two very sort of different styles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two guys that are kind of unorthodox in their own ways. And when people go in there with them, sometimes they don't expect what comes at them by just watching the footage, because when you're in there with them, it's a little different.
Yeah, definitely. Off the cuff, I want to say Dricus just because like he did beat me, and then that gives me a path also just to get it back off him, sort of thing. And but also I think like both guys love making it a dogfight, right? And I don't know. I think what can I say? How can I doubt Dricus when he beat me last time?
I know like this may sound like really stupid because in 2023 MMA is not about the strength, but I think one thing that shocked me about your fight, like Dricus just looked incredibly strong. Were you shocked by how strong he is? And he seems like a guy who on the ground, and I know Sean's got great takedown defense, But I feel like if it goes there, I think it's going to get very, very interesting, right?
I have to wait and see. It's like I didn't feel that he was out of this world strong. You know, it's just it's just how the cards fell, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, this makes things very interesting for you, man, right? Because before, I know there was a lot of talk about you and Usman. Like, people like, all right, like Robin Usman. I know Daniel Cormier was like, I'd love to see that fight. I know you spoke about it just like briefly, like, okay, Usman, that could be interesting. But now it kind of opens things up for this potential fight with Khamzat, because I guess if Khamzat is the guy that's supposed to get the next shot or whatever, does that then make him at the top of your priority list because beating him gets you to that title shot quicker? Or is it still that Kamaru Usman fight that still interests you?
Yeah, well, definitely the Usman fight interests me because I just think we're both guys that are at the top of the food chain, and I want to give him a proper welcome to the middleweight division, right? I like that fight. I think it's a fight that he's one of the best welterweights to do it. And I think fighting fights of that caliber just make me excited. It makes me excited. And I don't know, it's a face I haven't fought before. It's exciting. It's different. And I know, like, the goal to get to the gold, to get back to that title shot is, I don't think it's as complicated as many people make it out to be. I think I just need to win several fights in a row, like just win fights. And that's kind of where you end up regardless, right? And I think my biggest concern, my biggest primary objective right now is to make sure that my next fight is, it's on a big card with a big name. I want to fight. And then it's not about like the prize fights or the cash. No, I want a good fight that's filled with honor, that people will want to tune into. That'll be a hard fight, an honorable fight, and we get it done. And that pushes me closer to my objective, which is fighting for that title.
Yeah, it's like a tough one because I feel like Khamzat would be that fight that gets you there, right? Because he's such a big name, because he was promised that next title shot, and he can't fight because he's injured, right? But I guess it goes back to what you said a long time to us about how it's like, it's not really about the belt. It's kind of about beating everybody so you can prove that you're the best, right? I guess Usman kind of ticks that box for you.
Yeah, it does. But so does Khamzat. Like, it's more about just like fitting timelines and moving towards that goal. Like getting a title fight isn't tricky. It's just about winning fights. Okay. If you're winning fights consecutively, you're going to get a title shot sooner or later. And, fighting big names obviously help that. My timeline is roughly February, March. I'd like that. I'd like to fight. I was looking to fight later this year, earlier than today, but we couldn't play matchmaker. We couldn't find the right cards to be on. We couldn't work things out. So my next priority is like to be here for the birth of my daughter, and then to take a fight in February and March to try and pay for that.
Yeah.
When's your daughter due, Sarah Cass? When's your daughter due, man?
January, mid-January.
Oh, congratulations, man. All the legends are born in January. I was born in January. My son was born in January.
Good sign then.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How you feeling about it, by the way, right? That's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's crept up on me.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it though, and I can tell my wife is too to a degree because she's sick of being pregnant, dude. Yeah.
Just quickly, Dennis has a kid. I don't have a kid. Does it get easier? How many children do you have now? You've got a fair few, right?
This will make 5.
Dude, I don't know how you do it.
5.
That's
busy
the real
household.
gold belt right there. That's the real pound for pound thing. How do you do it, man? Jeez.
You know exactly how I do it. That's the truth. Like, honestly, the more the merrier. It makes things so much more fun. Like the kids play with themselves. They're each other's best friends. There's always something going on. There's always noise in the house. It's so full of life. It's fun. It's rewarding in its own way.
I like it. So what I'm getting from this is like, have a bunch of kids so they can take care of themselves, and then you can just kind of like do your own thing.
That's what I'm getting wrong.
I like
it. This kid really wants to spend time. Like, come on, man. This copy of RoboCop on PlayStation 5 isn't going to play itself, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, dude.
Just quickly before we get off you and Usman, you know what I like about that fight? And I feel like I I hope if that's the fight that happens, I hope it gets sort of the respect and praise that it deserves, because it wasn't that long ago then that would have been a super fight, right? You middleweight champion, Usman, a welterweight champion. I feel like it's one of the biggest non-title fights you can make at the moment.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I feel like our calibers speak for themselves. Obviously, our resumes speak for themselves. I think it's a big fight that a lot of people get behind, and that's the type of fight I want. That's the fight that'll bring a lot of eyes and a lot of experience with it. I just think it's a truly testing fight. That's the caliber fight that I want, and I'd like for that fight to be, in front of a lot of viewers.
I know this is a guy that hasn't panned out in the past, but, like Paulo Costa was on the show. He's ready for December, January. I know, would you ever consider anything in with that guy again? Or is that it now for you?
No way, because I need to get paid.
Yeah.
It's too much of a risk. It's to do it like a whole camp and then come up to a fight and then be him not to show up. It's a bit much.
Yeah, I want to see you get paid as well, right? You got the baby coming around the corner. Rob needs to get paid.
AGL, yeah.
I got to ask you, right? So one of the other interesting things that has made this division, shuffle around, aside from Israel or Sean winning the belt, Israel's kind of taken a little bit of time off, and I'm fascinated to get your thoughts on that. I think it's probably to do with health as well, right? Fighters get banged up. He had a crazy schedule. But this is something that you did not that long ago where you needed a little bit of break from the game. I wonder if you sort of can relate to sort of what he's going through at the moment.
Oh, well, much like we were jokingly talking about me paying my AGL bill, before the podcast, life doesn't stop for us.
Yeah.
I know, you guys only see a slither of our life and what we do. But, bar those 15, 25 minutes, there's a lot of time spent elsewhere, spent with your family, spent with our friends, and also a lot of time spent in the gyms. And time spent in the gyms isn't time we're out at baby showers or having lunch with our families or stuff. So it's a tricky balance. We're just normal people, and you can see the guys that give that respect to their lives, because they balance it. They shuffle things around, they move things around, they give time where it needs. And you can see the fighters that don't, because they kind of reach a point and then they have a drastic dip. Speaking for Israel personally, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's spending some time. He's got money now. He's got a legacy behind him. He's done his bit. He has the time to just go out and chill for a bit.
And I think that's what's healthy about it, right? He's always kind of talks about how there's more to life than fighting. There's more to life than, the belt. And that's really good, because so many fighters, if you want to be the best, it has to be almost an obsession, right? But then statistically, not everyone's going to end up a champion. And I think that ruins so many people, right?
Mate, it is a tricky place. It is a tricky place. It is a tricky thing to get a hold of. The mindset of what makes a champion, of what gets a guy to the belt, of what gets a guy fighting at these high tiers. Because myself and him and everyone else that stays at the top of the game for so long, it's hard work, man. It's hard work, because every fight is the highest stakes. And sometimes you need to have a break.
And I reckon it's just crazy, because just looking through your Wikipedia and stuff, you did it at such a young age. You did the Ultimate Fighter, and then you got the belt at a really young age. And I couldn't imagine, man, I know we're around you sometimes during fight week and you're doing your Fox Sports stuff. You got fans all over the place. I couldn't imagine dealing with that at a young age. And now you see guys in the UFC even younger than you, man, or around the same age as you, guys going straight from the Dana White Contender Series into the limelight. I wonder, what's the one piece of advice that stands out to you through all these years that you could share with a fighter that might be watching this? Because we know a lot of young Aussie fighters and fighters from around the world watch the show.
Oh, one piece of advice. Hey, that's a huge question to just throw on me like that.
I know.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. I think that's huge. Don't take it for granted. You can take that any which way you want. You can take your talent for granted. You can take the people surrounding you for granted. You can take what got you to where you are today for granted. And it's not always as obvious as be like, I can smash anyone. I'm the best in the world. That's not taking it for granted, right? You need to like sit down, have a think of what you take for granted or what you're grateful for, sort of thing. And and then just keep doing you. I think it's good just to keep yourself in check sometimes.
Oh, 100%. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. You have to sort of go against certain things that you've believed for a long time and go, is that really the right thing? Who did I get that from? Stuff like that. And I think to your point, sometimes you got to enjoy the journey, right? There's so many things that I look back on and I'm like, I should have not stressed about this or that. I should have just enjoyed it.
It goes so quick as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's so hard to truly like understand and have like an acceptance of like enjoy the journey, because it's such a thrown around phrase, but it is so important and so heavy because it's, I don't know. And I'm not about to sit here and break that down and delve into it because I'm sure there's a different podcast for that. But like, it's huge. It's huge, and that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. I get reminders when I see like the photo of like when we did that first EA UFC thing. It was like 2014. We were so young, baby face. We didn't even have microphones. We all three of us look so young. And then it's like, oh my God.
You rode your bike there, Rob. You're like, I rode my bike here.
Now we're in our 30s. I'm like, oh damn, dude. Like I should have enjoyed it. Yeah, but anyway.
I feel like I was too focused on like submission radio not flopping, you and me cast, and it's like I feel like I didn't even look around for like 5 years, and now I'm like, I wish I enjoyed that more. But anyway, dude, before we get into Alchemist Extracts, because we're super excited to talk about it, just quickly, Alex Pereira taking on Jiri for the big 205 belt this weekend. I know you're pretty keen on this one. All of us are. It's a bit of a war. How do you reckon Alex actually does, though, against Jiri? Because this is a fascinating matchup of these two warriors who just kind of go in there and just leave it all in the middle of the cage.
Yeah, dude, it's a hard one to pick because Alex is obviously like one of the better strikers in the game at the moment, right? And Jiri can get hit. Glover was landing some big shots on him. And you got to ask the question, like, if Glover can land shots on Jiri, then Alex surely can land shots on Jiri. And like, what does that look like? But in saying that, Jiri still won, right? Jiri has an uncanny ability to grab wins, to throw kill shots at the switch of a dime, to find that winning angle. And I think Alex would have to be the favorite because, like, just looking at it on paper. But I think Jiri, I don't know, something about it just tells me he's got this.
Yeah, man, your fellow Musashi friend, the way of the warrior, right? Anyway, speaking of our friends, it's not a bird, it's not a plane, it is a ball trimmer sent from space. Gentlemen, our good friends at Manscaped have been working day and night to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with their brand spanking new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Treat yourself because it features the Lawnmower 5.0 next generation shit. I know AI is cool, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is the biggest breakthrough in technology, especially when it comes to your balls, especially when it comes to the family jewels. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. We've also got the dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, which is great because I'm fucking pasty at the moment, but by the end of summer, Australian summer, I want to be a nice golden brown. Also, 3-length setting combs, and oh, did I mention the trimmer is waterproof too. Also, in the package, it features the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Soother toner, and 2 free gifts. And let's not forget the Weed Whacker 2.0 for all your nose and ear hairs features skin-safe technology as well, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Treat yourself or a sexy early Christmas present for someone else or even yourself. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. This is perfect. People always wonder, what do you get for your partner or your special friend for Christmas? This is perfect. Get 20% off right now with the code word submission and free shipping today. Don't miss out. Manscaped is the perfect Christmas gift, Cass.
That's right. And also just quickly, UFC 295 this weekend. You probably want to know, where can we watch it? Even better, where can we watch it for free? Well, your local pub or venue. But which one? Which one is going to provide you with actual commentary? How many screens are there? Is there Wi-Fi? Is there a beer garden? Is there deals on food? Is the food good? All of these questions and more can be answered by our good friends Fanzo, the free app, the best venue locator. So you can go to watch UFC 295, you whip out the app, it's free, you get to your location, and then it shows you all the venues and bars near you and gives you all the most important stats. And with a touch of a button, you can call the venue, you can make a booking, you can pop it on your maps, you can see reviews, other comments, you can even see photos. Fanzo, the #1 venue finder in the world. Click the link in the description below to make your life a lot easier. But Rob, just going back to you, man, I want to ask you also, so you've got this new company, Alchemist Extract, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell us about it. Fascinating, man. What made you want to get into this?
You co-founded it, right?
Yeah, because obviously I've had big breaks between fights the last couple of years through, one reason or another. So I'm always looking to keep myself busy in ways. And I had dabbled with CBD products before, and I saw their usefulness in what I do and just the people around me. I saw the benefits of CBD on my body, and then that kind of was the entrance into finding out about natural remedies, things to give me 1% more out of my training, out of my life for myself, but not only myself, my aging dad, the people around me, my family, and that got me into mushroom extracts. And mushroom extracts are like CBD, but better and more diverse with multiple different avenues for curing things and ailments and things like that. It's such a huge area to look into and to. Like, it's exciting to look into it and to find out all these different mushrooms and different things that can be used for inflammation or gut health or brain stimulation. Like, there's just so much there. And, I guess dipping into that, I met my business partners and I voiced it with my manager as well. And we set up things in place to eventually open up Alchemist Extracts, which is yeah, it's what's written on the bottle. It's like all the best things for you to try and help you get more out of your health and your daily health.
I feel like we're sorry to cut in there, Dennis. I was gonna say we're in a time where like biohacking is like huge, and people are like, I want to live to like 140 years, and there's a huge spectrum, right? There's things that you can do naturally, like Alchemist extracts. I feel like more people are taking like growth hormone than I've ever heard about. It's just like you hear from doctors or like even TRT. Obviously not I'm not talking fighters or anything, but just like average people who are like, I just want to be healthier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I'm curious, because I've had like chronic pain in my back, my shoulder, my hip for like the last 4 years, and it's shit. What were the biggest differences that you noticed like with CBD that you noticed with your own body?
Well, the CBD and the extracts, like for myself, and obviously it sounds a lot like what you're doing. It's just the aches and pains. It's inflammation, mate. It's inflammation. And the CBD and the mushroom products that we have, it just helps ease that pain. Like it just eases it, takes the edge off it. And you'll notice though, it's usually not one thing. It's usually a lot of different chains that are all linked together that are causing you pain or causing you sickness or unhealth. And I just find the mushroom extracts and the CBD, they just help me. They just give me a good baseline. It gives me a good baseline. And then obviously I have to do the rest, which is like clean eating, working out, working on your fitness, working on yourself. But I just feel like the CBD products and the mushroom extracts, they just give me that nice baseline to work with. It just gives me that little edge. It just gives me that little bit of a push in the right direction, which is all you need, because that's the tipping of the scale sometimes between getting sick and not getting sick, or getting injured and not getting injured. It's like usually the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And I'm just stacking the chips up in my favor.
Absolutely huge, man. And I know, like, when me and Casper even used to train and stuff, I mean, you learn a lot in training when it comes to technique and stuff, but guys did not know how to deal with, like, recovery. And, you know, it's like the big problem really is, like, you go to the doctors and they just prescribe you anything just to get rid of the pain, but it doesn't deal with the problems. And I know that a lot of fighters these days are paying the cost for it because this stuff wasn't around back in the day. And now, you know, Alchemist Extract, you know, is something that can actually help people in a real way and without the negatives of some of the stuff that the doctors might prescribe to. Just quickly, for people that might be, you know, curious about it, what are a couple of products you'd recommend for them to check out on the website? What are like some of the Rob Whittaker favorites?
Definitely Lion's Mane and Cordyceps. They're like our big ones. Just like it, I take them religiously every single day. Every single day I go out because they're cut with, there's Dricus plum in them as well. And that's like I think it's the biggest vitamin C fruit you can get in the waters. And it's just, and then we have the CBD products that are like, we have some that have CBD in them or don't. And I hit that every single day. Like I notice the difference. It's like, I get that energy burst of having a coffee, but without coffee, you know, like then I have a coffee.
I like that even more.
And then I'm real good. You know what I mean? It's it's great. It's I can't recommend it enough.
Well, dude, I was going to say the other big news, of course, is if you go to alchemistextracts.com, you can enter a sick competition to win an awesome prize worth up to $2,000 if you spent over $150 in AX products. And by the way, the first 100 entrants, I love this, get a signed limited edition T-shirt. So jump on there right now because I bet you those T-shirts are going to go quick. alchemistextracts.com and jump in because Christmas is around the corner. What better way to treat your partner who trains, does your athletics or whatever it is than to sort out their recovery and making them feel good for next year. It's an absolute must-have. Robert Whittaker, congratulations, dude. We're going to go on ourselves and try a few things ourselves. Maybe we'll enter the competition ourselves, get a few of these exclusive limited edition T-shirts. But of course, for now, everybody can follow you at Robert Whittaker MMA, man. We can't wait to see who you get in January, February, or March next year. Whoever it is, we can't wait to have you back on the show to talk about it, dude. Congratulations, and super excited about the new kid, man. Congratulations again from us too. Can't wait to see the photos in January where it all comes together. Congrats, brother.
No, definitely. Thank you very much, boys, and thanks for having me again. You guys are great.